What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a good Monday. It is April 10th here, and we are looking at the daily chart of the S&P 500. Markets up slightly today, 0.10%. Final print at 409.61. Not too much to go over today. We have CPI, of course, on Wednesday, and also FOMC minutes at 2. So CPI is at regular time 8:30, minutes at 2, like I said. So those are some major events that we have to look forward to this week. And then as I mentioned in the last video, PPI is Thursday at 8:30 as well. So being cautious coming into the data. Today we saw nice moves in both directions, but mostly up. There was one pretty good short that people could have taken advantage of. But before we get into any more detail, of course, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. And if you are liking the content that I am providing, please smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe so that way you are alerted every time we post more content about the markets and trading. All right, so looking at the daily here, we came in again today to tap the 9 on the daily and pushed back up. Momo is definitely getting a little hot, something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. But we do have data, of course, big data with CPI. It's a little tough, like I said, to kind of predict what's going to happen with the rest of the week. We'll just take it day by day. Of course, we can get more overbought, as you've seen before, and I've been over, but it's definitely something we want to watch out for, and keep it in the back of our minds. We are getting real close to this downtrend area, and what I'm going to do is actually... Oh, come on, don't freeze on me. I'm going to try to take it down. No, just a little bit. No, it's fine. So we have this downtrend still right above, but we can make a little, case for a flag here. So that's something I want to watch out for. We might come up, break, and test this higher up into that 412 area. Maybe tomorrow, maybe we just chop around. Very possible that buyers and institutions are going to be a little bit more tentative now that we're getting even closer to the big data release. So like I was saying, for me, I'm playing more cautiously up until after CPI, and then hopefully maybe Thursday or Friday we can get a nice trend day. Although today, we had some midday consolidation, but overall it was pretty much a trend day, except for once we started getting going into the afternoon session. So let's watch out here though as we get closer to this big downtrend. If we do start to break over, watch out for possible fake breaks over when we come into this value area high and then come back down. Another possibility that we want to keep in mind, but we could also just consolidate in here. And if I do this like this, we can pretty much see kind of the range, and we went over this, that it's a little higher there, that we've been trading in for the last couple of sessions. So when we're trading in a range like this, which was to be expected, we were talking about this being a potentiality after those huge moves we saw to the upside. But let's just be careful here while we're in this. You're really probably not going to see too much of a move until we totally break out of this further consolidation zone that we've been in here. So let's watch that for sure. Anything else here? Let's take a look at the fibs together really quickly. We're still here in this channel, so that is looking fine. No break of the uptrend. The structure is okay for right now. Of course, CPI can do anything to mess with that. And we'll go into some of the predictions tomorrow, what the banks are thinking that CPI is going to come in at. We'll try to find some averages, and that way, at least when the number comes out, we can see if it's in line with expectations, overline, or what, and then we'll be able to kind of form a thesis on what the price might do when the market actually opens. So everything is fine here. Got the 20 right above, and we're starting to get a nice nice confluence with this uptrend line in the 20. So that's going to be interesting if we do start to sell down and come into that area. It could be interesting for some type of a long opportunity. We come down to, here, if this starts to catch up, and then boom, we push back up higher, and then maybe ultimately target these value area highs on the daily. So let's take a look at some areas I could be looking at tomorrow. What do I think is going to happen? Let's go back here and let's start to take a look at, well, let's first look at the volume profile. All right, so a lot of those gaps we were kind of looking at have filled themselves out during that sell-off. It's very interesting, like I was saying, with that price action. We came up, we came down, came up, basically rolled over all the way back down, and then right back and made another high. So it was very interesting. You can see here basically the demand that we had been playing off of. If you wanted to do something like this, come down a little bit lower to the top, to the high of this candle. So we've got this demand zone here, 406.35 area, basically at around 405 and 3/4. So we'll be watching this zone as well. I don't think we'll come back down again that far, but after this, anything's possible, right? We are slightly above value here, so that's a little bit interesting to see. We are a little bit hot on the Momo, so I would be suspecting that tomorrow we will see somewhat of a pullback, and then we will continue back up higher. That's just a loose bias into tomorrow. Let's look at the 10-day hourly here. Volume point of control sitting nicely at 408.87. So if we start to pull back, maybe I might be looking at that level for a possible pickup. But now, if we do start to break these lows, and this will be kind of coming more into, possible moves with CPI, definitely look out for this gap here, starting to form around in this 405.25 down to 404.45. That could be interesting, and if we start to break here, I wouldn't be surprised to see price get driven into this area. And if they really start wanting to kick it, down, maybe this 402, this is not as quite an extreme gap, but this 402 to basically we'll call it, is it 402 here? Yeah, 401.90, 401.2, sure, down to 401.60, we'll call it. So that's interesting, but it is nice to note here, at least on the 10-day 4-hour, we have plenty of room still to the upside, but I still think that we'll probably cool off a little bit and then be able to come in. I don't know, I'll definitely be watching point of control, but we could have a bit of a bigger pullback, and we'll kind of look at that here in a second. So I'm going to mark off that VOPC. Let's take a look, 30-minute, okay, above value. Let's just look at the 4-hour really quickly, see if they're okay. You can see the gap. You can see that other gap that we were kind of looking at as well down here. So I want to definitely pay attention to these zones in case we start selling off. But something that we have been talking about here on the 4-hour, we still are way above value, so I don't really like that per se. But on the 4-hour, we do have some room here on the Momo to push up higher, so that is nice. But I think we'll probably need to cool off a little bit and then see about making that move higher. Ultimately, maybe looking for this this point of pain here at breakdown, this 412 basically. And then if we do get over, watch out, we might sweep this this wick, but it's going to be pretty thin up here, as you can see on the profile. All right, so let's just look at a couple of things as far as some buy side and some sell side areas. Okay. All right, so I already talked about this area. Here's point of control that we were watching before, and you can see there are definitely a little bit of buyers there hanging out, but definitely I'll be watching that whole zone and then down into here as well. Now this might be the pickup zone that I would be favoring, maybe not right at POC, but even if we start to break, I'll still be watching around here. Let me just make sure I get it right. Yeah, it's a little higher. There we go. So I'll be watching here, and you can see that these sellers are starting to get taken out here, and now we're starting to form a little bit of the buy side. So that is good, but we'll watch. I don't know if it will hold. I would prefer to pull back a little bit deeper and crack through this. So we'll have to see where we are in the morning. The morning might be a situation where we push up and then reverse, and then either we might push up in the morning, maybe come to 411 or something, come back down, test here, maybe break it, and then come down to this 408, and then we make that move back up in the afternoon session. That's definitely a scenario that I would consider. But let's look at the sell side over in this area. We definitely want to be aware of this little zone here, for there to be some areas where A, we might be drawn to that, and B, where it could be a nice short opportunity. So we'll have to see, and that might line up if we just kind of consolidate here, and then the morning, boom, come up, and then back down, maybe retest here, maybe we don't break here, and then maybe boom, we come back up and push back up in a tight range. I mean, that's only $1 pretty much. I mean, so that might be a bit annoying, but like I said, I personally would favor coming back to this area. That would be much nicer, because then we've got more upside to work with. And you can see here on the 30, we're still very spicy up here, so I want to pay attention to that. All right, let's look at some other areas here. Okay, we've already talked about that supply. We've talked about this level here. Okay, that's all good. All right, here, this is definitely interesting. We definitely want to pay attention. I'm going to switch this a little bit thicker here. So from 411.05 to 411.30, but also we want to pay attention just above. I mean, this is kind of tough. I might consider a short, in this zone, but you don't want to. I personally wouldn't be entering short here and then holding where we at. 410. I wouldn't be getting in and then holding all the way against me. I mean, it's about $2. So I mean, if you're on 0 days, you'd be smoked. But that's why I don't really like them. But this whole area here has got tons of sellers that that the bulls need to contend with to be able to push it higher. So last level we want to mention, if we do start to come down and break here, back towards this 407 level here, it's got a nice zone that we can potentially play around 407 to 406.30. So if we do crack here, targeting down here, maybe hit longs, but I don't know if we'll see that much of a range. It's possible, but these zones definitely, this one would probably be my favorite to potentially consider if we do pop up and then come back down. I don't know if they'll be able to hold this one, but we'll see. If I do take that, maybe it would be a bit smaller size. But my kind of theory is that we make that push, and like I said, and then we come back down, and then we bounce back up, and that will be the typical choppy type of price action that we've been seeing with a lot of these reversals intraday and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful. Hope everybody has a great rest of the evening, and I will see everybody on Twitter tomorrow. Take care and have a good rest of your night.